Welcome into Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Today on the show, the first thing that has to change coming up on Sunday, let's give some love to the catchers, and it's time to see Algier. All next, Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.
This is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, and it starts now.
Welcome into this Tuesday edition of Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your search browser. Hit that subscribe button when you find our page. Leave us a comment. We are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Download us for free today. Leave us a 5-star review. Also now, too, we are on Amazon Fire and Roku, so check us out on those platforms. And, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. So one of the things that was disappointing about Sunday, and a myriad of things that was disappointing, and there was a lot of good, okay? So, again, I'm happy with a lot of the things that the Falcons did. But remember what we were sold on, in that this red zone offense and who we drafted was all going to be different, right? That starts with Kyle Pitts and Drake London, your two top 10 pass-catching draft picks over the last 2 years. Now, ask me how many red zone targets those two guys got. Yeah, 0 is what they got. Bupkis is what they got. They came close. Mariota targeted Pitts twice at the 25-yard line. So we got close. We were near the red zone, okay? The catches that Drake London had, he had 5 receptions in the game, right? The starting line of scrimmage on those catches was the Atlanta 21, and by the way, his first catch didn't come until 10 minutes and 15 seconds in the second quarter. We'll let that one slide. The Atlanta 18, the Atlanta 39, the New Orleans 34, and the Atlanta 29. So he caught one pass that he caught in New Orleans territory. Had 5 catches on 7 targets. That's a good number. Kyle Pitts caught 1 ball at the Atlanta 49 and 1 ball at the New Orleans 30. So he as well only had 1 catch in New Orleans territory. By the way, he had 2 catches on 7 targets. That ain't good. I don't care what the reason is, okay? We have to stop with what the reasons are. Well, we're working on this. Okay, when you invest draft capital in the top 10 in the NFL, the number 4 overall pick, the number 8 overall pick, there's not a process. And I warned you about all of this before, about you want to be better, you got to change things up. You have to get into a mindset and get this thing dialed up. It's not acceptable to tell me that when we're passing on Penei Sewell and Micah Parsons and all these different guys, when we're passing on line of scrimmage help and we're drafting pass catchers, then they sure better be able to go out there and make an impact on the game for me where it matters most. That's scoring touchdowns, getting in the red zone. We had a long discussion about this over the summertime. And after week 1, no red zone targets, no touchdowns. Pitts was 2 catches on 7 targets. We talked about catch percentage and all these things. Again, I don't care what the reason is. I don't care how the watch was made. Tell me what time it is. I don't care about the labor pains. Show me the baby. And that's what the NFL is. The reason it's called Not for Long is because it is the ultimate net result business. You win, you lose. I go to ESPN.com. I look, did you win or lose? It's really simple. There's no computers. There's no BCS formula. There's no selection committee. There's none of that. You win, you lose, and that tells you where you're at. We'll talk more about this in just a second. But first, my friends over at BetOnline.net, we are full go into betting season with NFL, college, baseball division races. We're headed toward baseball playoffs. NBA is going to be right around the corner. Boxing, golf, MMA, everything you want is very simple to find It's at betonline.net, your number one source for all of your sports wagering information. Head there today. You need scores, you need e-betting, you need fantasy information. Everything that you need is available at betonline.net. So take that mobile device. It's the easiest way to do it. Take your mobile device, head to betonline.net today. Get all the information you need to make smarter, better decisions on sports wagering. BetOnline.net is your source for all of your betting needs out there. But when you're sold on the idea of, oh, man, well, we got Edwards, and we got this guy, and we got that guy, we got this, blah, 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 and then we don't use them. What's the old saying? That an unused weapon is a useless weapon, right? That's what that is. That's the number one thing that we've got to get going and on track on Sunday. You have to get London and Pitts in the offense, down deep in the red zone, and get this thing cranked up and going. With all due respect to running my quarterback and what Cordero Patterson did, okay, I have 2 top 10 picks invested in 2 guys. If you're going to sell me on, well, we don't need Parsons, we don't need Sewell, we don't need this guy, we don't need this line of scrimmage guy, we don't need Johnson, we don't need the, okay, that's fine. If you're going to sell me on it, then you got to get it cranked up and going. And the fact that only 2 passes were caught in New Orleans territory, when you got on that side of the field, forget red zone and all that, just 2 passes that were caught by those guys in your enemy's territory. That's not good enough, and that's not acceptable. And again, I don't want to hear about process and working on and fixing and I don't want to hear about nonsense. Remember the Eagles game last year to open the season? What did the Eagles do on the very first drive of the season against us? They got Devontae Smith a touchdown. Remember that? Remember way back in the journals and annuals of Falcon history? Devontae Smith caught a touchdown pass on the very first drive of the season against us for the Philadelphia Eagles. Our guys have to do that. I don't want to, because listen, I wasn't in favor of drafting pass-catching guys in the top 10 when we've been so deficient on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Yeah, it's great we got 4 sacks and this, that, and the other. Okay, you still need more people. There's no such thing as, well, they've got too many line of scrimmage guys. What coach is going to say that? So if you're going to sell me on these are the guys that we took, then it's time to get them going. It has to start Sunday in LA against the Rams and keep getting it going. Your offense is not going to get better to tell me about. And by the way, I saw where Arthur Smith said that, he thought Kyle Pitts made a lot of difference in the offense because he was blocking guys and stuff like that as they cranked up the run. Can I tell you, you don't draft Kyle Pitts at number 4 to block guys. That's not what he's here for. He's here to catch touchdowns, a ton of yards and catches and all that. Well, it's part of the game. Oh, miss me with that nonsense. You draft a guy at number 4, not for my coach to come out and tell me about the impact he made in blocking in the game. If that's the case, then why don't you draft Penei Sewell or somebody like that, or Charlie Cross or whatever? We got to get those guys involved in the red zone and the offense. It's not a matter of it taking time. Listen, them catching it is one thing. You got to go after it. You got to get the ball and huck it over to those guys. Y'all pissed and moaned for so many years about, well, we don't target Julio and all this and the other. Well, you're not targeting the guys you got now. The 2 guys you went and put 2 top 10 draft picks in, you're not targeting them now. Get this thing fixed this weekend. I want a touchdown out of one or both of those guys on Sunday, or we're going to be right back here on Monday saying, where the freak are we with all this? 2 top 10 pass catchers, no targets in the red zone. And then you wonder why your offense sputtered and stalled when it got down there. All right, when we come back, let's give some love to the catchers for the Atlanta Braves. It's been quite the remarkable season. Hitting hard with Jon Chuckery, Locked On Sports Atlanta.